Hey YouTube, today I'm going to discuss with you why Stephen King is my favorite writer of all time. So, one of the reasons, the number one reason why he's my favorite writer of all time is his characters. His characters are just amazing. Like, the way he develops them and, like, everything about the characters make you like them. Even though sometimes when King describes his characters, it's a bit drawn out, but I see why he does that, so that the characters are more believable than any other books you will ever read or whatever. That's the first reason why Stephen King is my favorite writer. Second reason is the ideas that he comes up with, because Stephen King comes up with some of the most absurd ideas for stories and books that no other writer would probably be able to pull off so perfectly that King does or whatever. He pulls off and creates some of the most absurd stories from some of the most absurd plot things or whatever for something that would scare you. And he weaves that into a perfectly great story that no other writer would be able to be successful with. My third reason is that he is still writing. There are some writers out there now who just write, who I believe just write just to get books out. I think that James Patterson writes books just to get them out so that he can get money for them, not really caring whether the final product is good or whether it's bad. He just wants to profit. That's what I think anyway. And he uses ghostwriters too, but James Patterson's another thing. But anyway, King, he is probably 50 or 60 years old, and he's still writing books. I mean, he gets money and he probably likes the money, but I believe that he writes just because he enjoys it, and because he doesn't care all that much about the money. I mean, he could just as easily write every book he wrote would be 300 pages, and that it would get published because he's a big name, so he could easily write 300-page books and get published easier and get a lot of them out. But he actually takes the time to write books. For example, his 2009 book Under the Dome is over 1,000 pages. And that's my favorite book of all time. And he decided to do that book and make the characters really good and still be at top of his game at 60 years old. And it's over 1,000-page book, as opposed to other authors who just write 300-page books just to get them out. Another example is 11/22/63, which came out in November of last year. And that book is over 800 pages, and he still manages to weave together a really, really good, long story. It being the age that he is, because he just loves to tell stories. Another reason why he's my favorite writer is just his writing style in general. I mean, I'm an aspiring writer too, so he's my inspiration. But I like his writing style because sometimes it can get complicated, but most of his books are paced perfectly, so it's slow when it needs to be slow, and it's fast when it needs to be fast. And I also like how King, when he does the italicized thoughts that break up paragraphs, stuff in The Shining, he does that a lot. And I think that makes the book, the end of the book, seem more intense or whatever than it was before. It makes it seem more intense And The Shining is like another one of my favorite books by him, because that book is amazing. But yeah, he's like, oh, I hate how a lot of people criticize King, whatever, for being like a really bad writer when he's really not. Like, I believe that in the future, Stephen King will become a icon, kind of like Edgar Allan Poe, Charles Dickens, those kind of people. It's like, be known for his stories in the future as like a classic horror writer that will be read by millions even into the future, like I keep saying. Because his characters are great, his plots are amazing. Like, every one of his books I've read so far has not really disappointed, except Wizard and Glass, but I might reread that because I couldn't really stick with it that good. Probably because I was in school. But anyway, yeah. And yeah, and another reason why I like King is because he focuses more on the characters than he does the supernatural occurrences that happen. Like, his books show the darkness in the human heart that we like, the darkness in our hearts under stressful situations and stuff. He talks about what the people would do. Like, I've never read Sam's Lot, but I'm assuming that would be about too. Like the dramas of a small town America, of like people knowing each other and knowing each other's secrets and not liking each other and stuff. And the vampires are just on the sidelines or whatever. Or another example is Under the Dome, where the dome comes down, and that's like a test of humanity, of of the atrocities mankind can do, but also the triumphs they can overcome those atrocities as well. And The Mist is the same way, where with the people trapped in the grocery store, it tests their wills on what they're willing to do to stay alive or whatever. So yeah, and his villains are pretty unique. In it, like, that brings like all of like childhood fears to life in a book, like bullies, family and stuff, abuse, clowns, werewolves, all that kind of stuff that kids are afraid of, or 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 the Overlook Hotel, which is a villain in that pretty unique haunted hotel, because it's not haunted in the traditional sense of the word haunting, but it is still haunted. And Cujo, Cujo is kind of plausible, because a dog could get rabies, but it's not likely. So yeah, yeah, that's like about all I really have to say about why Stephen King is my favorite writer. So yeah, yeah. So we'll see you later, YouTube. I'm gonna upload a few more videos on this webcam. Again, like the last couple of videos I uploaded. Sorry about the webcam quality, because the quality is terrible on it. But anyway, see ya, YouTube.